there! I am going to have a lot of fun with you guys in the kitchen today. I'm part of a Treats for My Sweet collaboration. Many of you may be out there looking for ideas for Valentine's, for your family, yourself, co-workers. There's going to be a whole group of YouTube channels putting together some great content for you. But today, my contribution is going to be for birthdays, actually. January is the month of birthdays for me. It's my husband, my mother, my sister, my cousin, and so many friends and family that I can't even count them all. So I'm going to attempt to make a mock Dairy Queen with my own little twist ice cream cake. Of course, we're going to use my farm fresh milk. I just put the cream in with the milk because that's pretty equal to about using cream and milk in most recipes. We're going to use these box mixes today because there's so many other steps that we're going to go through. I'm just going to use these. I've had success with them in the past. And I have strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate so we can have options. I measure out 2 cups of milk and put in each of my jars. This one already has the strawberry powder in it. Each of these should make 1 quart of ice cream. It's just as simple as making pudding, my friends. We've got our vanilla. Chocolate. Now, you can put this directly into your ice cream maker now, but I have found that if you go ahead and just let this sit for a few hours, it works a lot better. So I'm going to go ahead and mix these up and then set them in the refrigerator. So, just going to give this a good whisk. And I just feel like if I let this sit in the refrigerator, the sugars in here just kind of dissolve. And it makes for a little bit better of an ice cream. So we can give it a shake like this every once in a while too. By doing it in the glass, you can see whether you get everything off at the bottom or not. And if you have people in your family that might be getting in there, make sure you label it so they don't think it's chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry milk. I have my Whitner tabletop ice cream maker, and the timer just went off. It's been going for 30 minutes, and pre-chilling, I like to do that. We're going to give this one more good shake. The spatula ready, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn this on. And we're going to have it, it's negative 15 degrees right now, so go ahead and pour this in here. And we will get our ice cream to going. I think we'll just leave it in the pan and serve it from the pan just because it's going to be easier for me than trying to find a box to put things in. But if I was going to be wanting to make this a little more professional looking, what I would do is I would take my press and seal and I'd put the sticky side on the pan and I would completely coat my pan with big edges, you know, on the sides so that we could flip it out and over onto another, like a serving platter or something, and I would decorate the entire cake. But because this is for family, my sweetheart the farmer, we're just going to go ahead and keep this in this pan so that it'll be easier for leftovers and things. We're just going to use this as is. But normally the ice cream would stick to it. It'd be hard to get it out. You'd have to warm it up. It'd be a process. This would save you time. Originally I was going to take your sandwich cookies and just grind them up and put some of this shell on it because that is one of the options that I read. But I'm gonna rethink this because I found another one that will give us the fudgy middle that we so love. Take all these cookies out and I'm going to crush them up in this bag and take out a little aggression today. You know, a person gets cooped up in the wintertime. and they about go stir crazy. And one of the things that you can do is cook. I've got my plastic bag. I got my husband beater, my roller. And we're just gonna beat it. And we're gonna do that until we have nothing but crumbles. I've got a stick of butter here. I'm gonna zap this in the microwave and I'm gonna melt that. Dump this entire bag of Oreos in here. We're making a larger than normal cake, so I'm using a larger than normal amount, but all is good, friends, all is good. So I've got my melted butter here. Just gonna kind of mix this up a little bit and make sure I have no lumps and it's completely melted. Pour this right on top of our crushed Oreos so that we can make some Oreo crunchies. And I just want to make sure that I coat everything really well. That's why I got an extra large bowl so that I can really stir and really get in there and make sure I'm coating everything and it's not all clumping in one spot. I'm going to pour this out on my cookie sheet here. This is my bar pan, which I love, as you can tell by the color. It is well used. And we're just going to spread this out. And I'm going to bake this at a 350 degree oven for, probably about 10 minutes. And then I'll bring it out to cool until we are ready for it. Okay, that's not a good sign. That means ice cream's done. It didn't even take quite 30 minutes. So I'm going to unlock this. I'm going to pull this out. And we have our vanilla ice cream. Yay! Oh, it's so beautiful. So it fluffed up so nice. It kind of reminds me of like Wendy's ice cream when I do these junket kits. I don't know what all's in there, but it just kind of reminds me of that. And so that's why I chose to use these, because it's more Dairy Queen-like too, I think, a little bit, versus your, heavy with egg typical ice creams that you would want to make just for eating. So this makes for a nice soft set ice cream. I'm going to kind of spread it out the best I can. And it's going to go into the deep freeze to firm up. What we're going to do is work on the fudgy layer. What I want to do is take about half a bag of chocolate chips. They suggest semi-sweet, but we really like dark chocolate, so I chose a bittersweet is what I ended up doing. So we'll take about half the bag. It's supposed to be a half a cup of heavy whipping cream. However, this is my fresh cow's milk, which is really, really about like half and half, really. And we're going to put this in the microwave at 30-second increments until it has warmed. But before I do that, I'm going to put in about 3 tablespoons of corn syrup. 2, 3. And the trick with using the corn syrup is that it's going to help it from freezing. And so that way, even though the ice cream cake will be frozen, we're going to have that gooey layer. First time we did 1 minute. And I'm just going to stir this together, and then we'll do 30 seconds each after this. Just wanting to make a fudge sauce is what we're doing. And it is starting to really look lovely. I actually may not need, I don't think I'm going to need to warm this up anymore. Yeah, that looks great. Okay, I'm going to go grab our ice cream, our vanilla ice cream, and our crunchies. I'll be right back. Not sure how I forgot this part, but we need to put a splash of vanilla in here. I don't want this to be hot. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna drizzle this over our vanilla ice cream. And I'm gonna spread this out as evenly as I can, trying my best not to melt the ice cream. It doesn't take much with this homemade soft serve. Make sure you get all the corners here. And then I've got our cookie mixture, and I'm just gonna divide this in half, and I'm gonna sprinkle this all over the top of this fudge. And now I'm just gonna try to flatten this out the best I can. I'm gonna put this back in the freezer while our next layer of ice cream gets going. Now I'll pour in the chocolate. This has been in there a good half hour, and now our ice cream maker has gone off again. I always know, it sounds like a horse galloping. It's like, and that's when I know that this has it's hit its limit, which honestly, this looks kind of, I mean, it's super airy and fluffy, but I'm telling you, that's because of the junket. Those mixes tend to just remind me of, you know, like Wendy's ice cream is what their chocolate tastes just like to me. But that's just my personal opinion. That's not a fact. And now that this is nice and chilled, I should be able to kind of just dollop the ice cream around here so that it'll make it a little easier for me to spread. I am going to spread this. Boy, it had a lot of air pockets in it. You know, I shook it up really, really well before I put it in, and that could be part of why it does that. Rather than stirring it, I've been shaking it. I bet that's a lot of the air pockets. So this is probably kind of good to get some of these air pockets out. Now, I'm going to stick this back in the deep freeze for a good 30 minutes. All right, remember how we saved half of this bag? There goes the other half. We're going to use, I don't know if we have to use the full half cup milk here. We're going to guess again here at the 3 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Into the microwave for 1 minute, and then we'll come back to stir. 1 minute in the microwave. Let's see if that trick worked again. Just keep working this. And while I stir, I'll grab my vanilla. Just happens to have a huge sticker on it. We'll dash that in there. I like to add my vanilla after I have started heating things up. It's just habit from like when you make puddings and things, and most ganaches and caramels, they have you put it on after you pull it out of the heat. So that is why I'm doing that. And it looks like it's gonna beautifully come together just like the first half did. Onto the chocolate, same thing. We're just gonna kind of drizzle it on there. All the way to the edges again. We've got the other half of our cookie crumbles. Now tell me, what's your favorite part of ice cream cake? It's definitely the cookie crumbles for me. With this fudge layer, I am really hoping that this turns out just like my favorite ice cream cake shop. Make sure we get to the corners, gently spreading it, and then now I could go in, press it down, and and make an even layer. This goes into the deep freeze. Okay, here we are. Strawberry, and I didn't shake it this time. It's kind of clicking a little already, but we're just gonna pour this right on in there. And there we have it. A strawberry layer. I just thought that Neapolitan sounded so fun. Doesn't that look nice? I think we got a much better texture this go around. Yeah, I think the shaking it was just a little too much last time. It's all right. We learned together on that one, friends. If I want it to be more like a Frosty, I shake it first. I'm just going to try to make dollops all around here. Just start spreading this out for our top layer. You can absolutely use store-bought ice cream to do this and just let it soften and spread it. You would save yourself a lot of time, but I am so excited about the flavor we're gonna get from my cows, my Jersey cows. Deliciously rich, creamy milk. It's the end of the day, and it's the end of making our cake. We are to the point of making our own homemade whipped topping with fresh cow's milk. Of course. This is the heavy cream line, and I'm gonna see how much we have in here. I'm guessing cup and a half. I can actually get this measuring cup right down in there. There's a fourth a cup. You can see the color change when you're doing this. Okay, I think we've got our 2 cups. I put that right into our mixer. I'm gonna add a cup of powdered sugar. It calls for 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla, but you know I don't really like to measure around here. It is a clear vanilla. And I think that'll keep our whipped topping more white, and that's the only reason why I'm using it. And let's go ahead, give this a quick little spin, just to mix it together. Slowly work my way up. And this will probably take maybe 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes on low, then you'll do 5 to 8 minutes on medium to medium high. Guys, I may have over whipped this. There's a fine line. See, it's pourable and it shouldn't be. I must have whipped it just a minute or two too long. It was perfect a second ago. So we will not be making any fancy edges like I had hoped, but that's okay. My sweetheart won't care. So at this point, we're just gonna spread it like we did all the layers of ice cream. Making sure we reach the edges. And yet another reason why I'm glad I chose not to flip it out and try to decorate, because I'm not this isn't my everyday work. This is just us having fun in the kitchen together, trying new things, having fun, making food for those that we care about, those that we love. I have this container that has various sprinkles. Well, we'll go around the edges. Got lots of these sprinkles, so we'll take those and do all over the entire cake. To try to get the chocolate ones are not. That is just silly trying to get those to come out. We have our cake, and if I wanted to, I could write on it because I just kind of did around the edges there. But before I do anything else, This is going to need to go back in the freezer for at least an hour. And then I'll get my press and seal and put it over the top to make sure it doesn't get freezer burned. But look, guys, isn't this adorable? It is time to cut the cake. I'm gonna admit, I'm a little nervous. I don't know how this is gonna turn out. I'm gonna kind of try to cut along the edge here to make sure it won't stick too bad. Oh boy, it's cutting, so that's a good sign. I'm not quite sure how to serve this. Whoop, there it goes. Ah! All 3 layers. So excited about this. How fun. Boy, it's already wanting to melt though. This vanilla, the chocolate, the strawberry, the frosting. I'm gonna try to get a bite. It has all the layers. The crunchies, the fudge bits. Shut up. Stop it. Sorry, Dairy Queen. See ya. It's homemade from now on. Wow, that is so good. I hope that you try this too. I'm just so super excited that we got to do this together. And thank you, Mama Friendly, for hosting this collaboration. I hope that you guys all go check out all the other videos in the playlist. Bye for now, friends.